I'm in the Museum of Ancient Architecture in a restored temple. And the translations don't really give you a whole lot of info. At least a lot of them point out the location and name of what you're looking at. This is going to be more about construction than existing buildings and relic, ruin buildings. Timber, structure technology, ancient Chinese architecture. Timber frame structure. Convenient material for procurement, restoration, removal, strong adaptability, high construction speed, anti-seismic ability, timbers applied, ancient Chinese artisans, full and traditional architecture, beams, columns, tie beams, purlins, carpentry work. Let's see, style a bit, firm foundation. Timber frame buildings were established on firm stylobates to structural functions or to support the whole buildings, resist moist and water, and prevent settlement. The ornament and hierarchy functions were attached afterwards. Common stylobates were mainly compacted with clay and smashed brick tiles and stones protected with masonry walls laid around, while high-class buildings were established on high stylobates with Shumi style. Profiles. Diagram of stylobate. Part of stylobate of Eastern Side Hall of Courtyard in Taisu Hall in Xiannong Temple, Beijing. Frame supporting skeleton of the buildings. Traditional Chinese timber frame architecture has 4 structural types: post and lintel, pillar construction, stilt construction, log cabin construction. Among these 4 types, as represented from timber frame architecture in our country, post and lintel construction is generally applicable to large buildings such as palaces, temples, monasteries. Even in the structure of imperial complex, pillar and tie construction are more common in civil residences. Stilt construction, mostly seen in southern areas, humid climate. Log cabin construction can be found in buildings located in the palaces with abundant timber resources. Post lintel structure, Taisu Hall of Xiannong Temple, Beijing, where we are now. Here's timber frame post lintel construction. Drawing a timber frame column and tie construction. Yi dwelling column and tie construction. Chart of 8 classes. Case in the song. Earlier song, government issued Yingzhou Fashi building standards. S standards are architectural design and constructions in which Kai was taken as the standard of architectural scale. It means the sizes of the materials used in the timber frame buildings were divided into 8 sets, which shall be chosen based on the size of buildings. Once Kai is decided, all component sizes of the timber frame have been also decided as specified in a according set. Railing, type dwelling, Dong nationality, Guizhou province. Timber frame, stilt construction. Timber frame, log cabin construction. Buildings, log cabin, Lanping area of Yunnan province. Buildings, a log cabin construction, Lijiang, Lijiang, Yunnan province. Roof, a beautiful crown as the uppermost exterior protected construction of buildings. Roofs placed on the house frames a certain weight which can neutralize the effects caused by horizontal thrust and make the buildings have better performance of stability. Based on herringbone, the roofs of ancient Chinese architecture have various forms such as hip roof, gable and hip roof, overhanging gable roof, flush gable roof, pyramidal roof, and so on, which enrich the art of ancient architectural modeling. Hip roof of Qingzheng Palace, Xiannong Temple, Beijing. Different style roof. Pyramidal roof, Central Hall of Central Harmony, Forbidden City. Gable and hip roof of Worship Hall, Xiannong Temple. Overhanging gable roof of Eastern Side Hall, courtyard of Tai Sui Hall of Xiannong Temple. Flash sable roof of Zhongjing Hall, Shenyang Imperial Palace. Mortise and tenon, fantastic connecting components. Mortise and tenon are convex and concave parts of the connecting components used in construction. Convex part is called tenon, while the concave is mortise. The components can be firmly connected together with tenon inserted into the mortise. The mortise and tenon rabbet tightly with each other in different directions and create an equilibrium and harmony of the forces acting on the building, which can consequently reduce and decompose the external forces and ensure stability of the main structure. Mortise and tenon components discovered in Mudu site, Yuyao, Zhejiang province. Joinery. If I were a carpenter. Dugong, corbel bracket, unique supporting member. Dugong is the most characteristic supporting component in ancient Chinese architecture. It protrudes between the cross girder and the column to shore up the eave and transfer the load caused by the eave to the column for the supporting and anti-seismic effects of eave as well as its decoration. Dugong was usually for buildings of high class. As the development of dugong, it was used as a construction model in the Song. Du block is a square timber brick. It got its name from the shape, which is similar to a rice measuring bucket in ancient time, which was called a du. Gong arm is a kind of short timber with rectangular sections. Named so for its bow-like appearance, du and gong multiply, connect together to form dugong, which was called Puzhou, bracket set in Yingzhou Fai Shi of Song Dynasty. In structural regulation, released by Project Department of the Qing Dynasty, dugong was called duqi. Each combination of du and gong was called swan, meaning one set, according to the different positions they were installed in. We call Jutoki column set for bracket set on top of columns, Jiaoki corner set for bracket sets on top of corner columns, and Ping Shenki intermediate set for bracket set between columns. Dugong image described on square copper table, discovered in tomb of Zhongshan Kingdom, Warring States period, called Pingshan, Hebei province. Dugong image printed on lacquer tray, Warring States period, discovered Linqi, Shandong. There's some dugongs. Wuming Watchtower, Chong County, Chongqing. Dugong image described in Tianlongshan Grottoes, Taiyuan, Shaanxi. East Hall of Foguang Temple, Mount Wutai County, Shaanxi. Dugong image described stone carlings, Shu Fa Tu on door lintel of Wild Goose Pagoda, Cn Temple, Xi'an. Dugong image described wall painting, Mogu Grottoes. Dugong. This is the style you have to work with the dugong. So you start off with this one, into this one, into that one, into that one. It's complex. They got these together, so you can't do too much wiggling. Wow, complex. And they paint them up. Ornamental artistry of the ancient Chinese architecture. Keisan ceiling, Jingtu Temple, Shanxi. Keisan ceiling, Jihua Temple, Beijing. Keisan ceiling, Hall Supreme Harmony, Forbidden City. Keisan ceiling, Baogu Temple, Zhejiang Province. Splendid indoor Keisan ceiling. Keisan ceilings, unique decoration for indoor top ceilings. Ancient Chinese buildings usually appear in shape of inverted well with carvings and decorated drawings decorated around and are mostly used in palaces and above the thrones in the Buddhist altar and temples. Ancient Chinese architecture Keisan ceilings are in the category of minority carpentry work. Glistening glaze components. Colored glaze is a kind of glaze made by sodium and aluminum silicate compounds burned in a high temperature. The glazed tiles and decorative components were commonly used in the dynasties Yuan, Ming, Qing on the buildings such as palaces and temples. Colored glaze has the ability to extend the service life of the building with its relatively better waterproof performance and to give the buildings gorgeous and splendid appearances with its different colors embodying the hierarchies and functions of the buildings. Tachi. You get the different glaze. The lead glazed. Green glazed roof, Prince Gong's mansion, Beijing. Yellow glazed cover, Forbidden City. Black glazed Taisu Hall, Xiannong Province. Glazed animal figurines, Hall Supreme Harmony, Forbidden City. Glazed memorial archway, Imperial College, Qing Dynasty. In the style of 7 roofs, 3 doorways. Glazed animal figurines on ridges of Taisui Hall of Xiannong Temple, Beijing. Wood oil painting, colored drawings, richly ornamented beams. Buildings with timber frames are easy to get damaged by worms and decay. The ancient Chinese artisans painted the buildings with wood oil after they were finished in order to extend the service life of the buildings. Oil printing for preservation was called oil painting work among various word categories in ancient Chinese architecture. Based on preserving oil printing work, the intelligent ancient Chinese artisans developed colored drawing to decorate and embellish the buildings, etc., etc. Simple compositions, bold, rough, casual style. Before the song, artistry color drawing emerged as early as the spring-autumn period. Before the song, it was mostly simple compositions, bold and rough. Style of warm colors. Song Dynasty and the Qing Dynasty had special regulations for drawing, working the patterns, and the drawing had evolved tangent circles from Ruyi. Middle of the Qing Dynasty, prevalent embossed gilding patterns made the colored drawing reach the peak of its development. Colored drawings on Liao Dynasty main hall of Fenggu Temple, Liaoning Province. Colored drawings, Liao Dynasty, Ming Hall, Fenggu Temple, Liaoning. Colored drawing of the Ming in the Jihua Temple, Beijing. Colored drawings, Qing Dynasty. Here's a massive corbel. It's a big one. Right there. Big one. Decorative carving, masterpieces of the gods. Wood carvings and brick carvings called carving work in traditional Chinese architecture. Originated from the Shang Dynasty, wood carvings were mostly used for decorated brackets called quiti in Chinese. At the front eaves and colonnade of the building and the beam frames and decorations inside the buildings. Architectural wood carvings have been greatly developed in the dynasties of Ming and Qing, and the applications of wood carving decorations were more prevalent and carvings were more delicate and normalized. Brick carving was developed based on the portrait bricks of the Han Dynasty and emerged and developed from the earlier Song Dynasty and reached its peak of development in the dynasties of the Ming and Qing. It was quite commonly used for ruyi doors, screen walls, and ventilated components and decorated walls, etc. Stone carving is an important part of the decoration artistry of the ancient Chinese architecture. The themes are mostly plants and animals. Let me switch my battery jacket on. Stone carving is an important part of decoration. Plants, animals, famous figures, blah blah. Lintel, Guangzhou Temple at Chen's. Stone carving, balustrade, Qian Hall, Forbidden City, Xiannong Hall. Under eave, wood carving, gatehouse dwelling, Dali, Yunnan Province. Dwelling of Dali. These look like corbels. Golden doors, red windows, artistries of doors and windows. Construction technology and component processing. Architectural construction, major procedures of ancient architectural construction by Gangtu. With the development of production tools, the accumulation of construction experience, and the progress of construction technology, Chinese traditional techniques of architectural construction are gradually improved and matured in the Qing Dynasty. Architectural construction had explicit specialization, manufacture and assembly had been modularized. It's greatly accelerates speed of construction. Brick and tile. Brick tile, most widely used component, traditional Chinese architecture, emerged Warring States period. Bricks firstly were only used for construction of coffin chambers in the Wei and Jin, southern and northern dynasties. Bricks went out from underground and were used to construct ground buildings. In the Ming Dynasty, because of the great improvement of the production technology, bricks became common material for wall construction of various buildings. Tiles emerged from early period of Western Zhou dynasties and instead of thatch became the main material used for roof carving. Tiles became smaller and thinner and consequently caused roofs to become more and more steep. This court is now in session. I find you guilty. Stone carving of Hutu Temple, Fenyin. Metal bricks made in the Imperial kiln. Gold bricks actually are large square bricks baked in by purified mud, which have delicate and hard quality and glossy effect on the surface because of its complicated production process and high manufacturing costs, as well as the metallic sound when being knocked. They were called metal bricks. They were mainly made in Suzhou and applied in the ground pavement of Imperial architecture such as palaces. Stone carving, Hutu Temple, Fenyin. Production of metal bricks. Timber selection. Timbers are main architectural material used in China's ancient architectures. The selection of timbers depends on the parts and classes of the building to be constructed. Coniferous trees are the main timber material for construction because they're easy to process for high and strong trunks with straight veins and smooth and relatively soft quality. Table of common timbers, ancient Chinese architecture. Flow chart, timber processing. What is this? Dugong. You can see here just how it works to transfer the load between the cross beam and the post lintels. That's a real human being in there. Here's what it looks like when it's all painted up. All sorts of alchemy takes place. Scaffolding. Here's a pier house. We didn't talk about scaffolding. Scaffolding's an important part of the process. I think I saw everything. Maybe there's something open here. More to see. You gotta keep the birds out by put netting over those dugongs because they're nice for birds to nest in, I guess. Architectural types of ancient Chinese buildings for appreciation. Shikumen, residential buildings. I think this is Shikumen. Maybe not. These are all the different doorways. They had a small exhibit. Beijing quadrangle dwellings. They had a small exhibit on this stuff over at the Imperial, the Urban Planning Museum. But think it, Xihuan, courtyard house. This is where they stole the drawing from in my DK guidebook. Now I know where they stole it from. Drew on the basis of Mr. Wang Qiming's label. Now I know where the DK ripped off their drawing. It's the thing about copyright, they're all ripping each other off. Xiannong, carving of Beijing's quadrangle gate, couplets a gate of quadrangle. Courtyard house. Ultra modern. What is this? 1949 to present. Cave dwelling. Shanxi. Lewis Plateau. Round Hakka Earth Buildings, Fujian Province. Square Hakka Earth Buildings, Fujian Province. Residential house in Huizhou, Anhui Province. Firewall, a residential house in Huizhou, Anhui Province. Ancient villages, southern Anhui Province. Shanxi, Dang Village. Han City. Interior residential house, Pingyao, Shanxi. Residential house, Pingyao, Shanxi. Yep. Distribution map, Chinese residential buildings by type. Qing Dynasty, Prince Jiang Palace, Yinan Hall. Interior scene, South Mansion Palace, Prince Chun Qing Dynasty, Prince Chun. Close? Closing? Close, okay.
你抓紧。
Suzhou. Well, I wasted my fucking day walking around and I get to see everything here. Fucking annoyance. It's only 4 too. Bridges. I thought they closed at 4:30. Is the other part of the museum there open till 4:30? was a waste of time. Well, I spent most of my day walking around like a jerk. Close at 4:30. Said 4:30. Nine to 4. 9 to 4. Well, I hate it when I pay my admission to something and I don't see everything, especially something that's not really worth coming back to see the little bit that you missed. Although it is near the Museum of Natural History. I hate it when I read 2 guidebooks and I still get thrown off by stupid bullshit in both of them. That Fa Yuan temple is bullshit. The Cow Mosque, if I knew that other temple, I wouldn't have done the mosque. Would have cut that out. It's not worth going to by itself. That's why they list that stupid temple with it. That looks like it's been closed for fucking decades. Temple of the Gods. 4 seas, 4 rivers, 5 mountains. Platform for viewing planting. 1754. Yeah, this is where I should have started my day. Precious Clothing Hall. Looks like they have an exhibit. This is where the emperor changed his clothes before the planting ceremony. With the exhibits on. I don't know if it's the nature of the exhibits here, the poor translations, or both, but I really didn't walk away with much of a sense. The dugongs were explained a little bit, and the use of the name corbel and corbel bracket was a little more informative. I've always heard it called corbel, but I'm gonna have to come back here again. I want to see everything. Actually, I would have seen everything if I didn't have to go back on the subway twice today, because that Galileo app screwed up. I was trying to record a track of the subway, and that wasted an extra half hour because it didn't do it the first time. So I went back down the subway, back out to from Ping An Lee. I'd gone from Nanlugu to Ping An Lee and went in and out of the subway both times instead of staying down to connect, so that I could get satellite signal and record in a straight line. Hey, this is the route that it follows. This is the route of the such and such. And it didn't do it the first time, so. And I skipped lunch today and I still ran out of time. Half my day was walking around to see bullshit that wasn't even open. There was supposed to be a Beijing Opera Museum at that Huang whatever guild hall. That was a farce. Waste of time. Sometimes I wonder, like, who the reviewer is, that, like, how many people have to corroborate a piece of information for them to put it in a guidebook. And then is it the same person checking their own work years later? Because you'll go to shit and you'll be like, this is totally not accurate. And it doesn't look like it's been accurate for a decade. Who's responsible? Let's see what this is. Kitchen for preparing the sacrifices. Aha. They have a bunch of exhibition rooms here. So there's a fair amount to see here. I'll have to come back. But it looks like this is all closed for reconstruction, huh? Work in progress, I guess. Yeah, if I had an extra half hour, I think I would have pretty much seen everything at the museum. It was not worth it. I probably walked 8-10 miles. Now I hate it when it's like 4 o'clock and it's like by the time this is what happened yesterday, it was 4 o'clock. It's like, well, by the time I get over here, that'll be, have 10 minutes to see what's going on there. I was here at Tenon yesterday. The guidebook was stupid for that. It told me to go in the north gate and had everything oriented towards being in the north gate. Then I got down here and I'm like, oh, I didn't see this part over here, so I had to go back up, see that. And I was like, what are these things down here? They were closed. Could have told me that, so I didn't have to double back there and see that. Then this is a separate ticket, so I had to go over and see that. Then I'm all the way over on this side and it's like 4 o'clock and I'm like, well, I'd like to see this before I go out of the park. So I went over to see that and then it was too late to go over here. Annoying. So the whole point of having a guidebook is so that extra hour that you wasted, that you could have seen everything. If you follow the guidebook's route, you're good. Not, nope. We'll waste your time and the price for the book. Yesterday I was looking at that section in the Lonely Planet. Their map is half of it's off. Hello. What time do you close? 4:30? 4. I'm not kicking people out of that area. Why did they close this exhibit? See, like, that annoys me too. I have a half hour in these two, but she just closed this one. So if I had gone into that one first, I would have been fine to see everything. It's like ridiculous. This closes early because the woman in charge of it wants to go home, I guess. Okay. It's obviously the last hall that most people want to do. There was like two groups of people in there she kicked out. It actually looks pretty interesting too. Whatever. Today was a total waste of my time. I don't like Beijing. It's actually turned into a clear day. I think as far as the cities go, this is like my least favorite East Asian city so far. It's just annoying and taxing to get around. And polluted. And expensive, way too expensive. So basically, if I went in that hall last, I would have read everything because the other hall closes at 3:55. Even an extra 5 minutes in that hall, I could have like went through and at least looked at the major pieces. I hate that. Lady was nasty too. Whatever. Yeah, Beijing can go fuck itself. Fucking headache. You know what else I got annoyed about? I bought like a SIM card last time I was here, and I wasted like 300 yuan charging it here, and it still wouldn't work because they were charging me for the months I was like out of the country. And finally, after 300 yen, I was like, fuck them, I'm not even going to buy another card while I'm here. I don't really need it. It would have been nice today to know what bus number I could have taken, but there really wasn't that many bus routes to get around from one area to another. I would have had to switch so many times by the time you wait from one bus to another bus. I did take one bus, and it wasn't the right one. It started to turn a corner, so I got off, and within a few minutes caught another bus that took me to the Cal Street Mosque. It probably saved me about a mile of walking, not much. Whatever. Maybe I'll come back, maybe I won't. Hate walking around annoyed every day. It's like supposed to be a positive experience, but just annoyed when I visit Beijing. It's just annoying and gross is my perspective on it. I'm in the Museum of Ancient Architecture in a restored temple. And the translations don't really give you a whole lot of info. At least a lot of them point out the location and name of what you're looking at. This is going to be more about construction than existing buildings and relic, ruin buildings, timber, structure technology, ancient Chinese architecture, timber frame structure, convenient material for procurement, restoration, removal, strong adaptability, high construction styles, diagram of stylobate, part of stylobate of Eastern Side Hall of Courtyard in Taisu Hall in Xiannong Temple, Beijing. Frame supporting skeleton of the buildings. Traditional Chinese timber frame architecture has 4 structural types: post and lintel, pillar construction, stilt construction, log cabin construction. Among these 4 types, as represented from timber frame architecture in our country, post and lintel construction is generally applicable to large buildings such as palaces, temples, monasteries. Even in the structure of imperial complex, pillar and tie construction are more common in civil residences. Stilt construction, mostly seen in southern areas, humid climate. Log cabin construction can be found in buildings low speed, anti-seismic ability, timbers applied, ancient Chinese artisans, full in traditional architecture, beams, columns, tie beams, purlins, carpentry work. See, style a bit, firm foundation. Timber frame buildings were established on firm stylobates. The structural functions were to support the whole buildings, resist moist and water, and prevent settlement. The ornament and hierarchy functions were attached afterwards. Common stylobates were mainly compacted with clay and smashed brick tiles and stones protected with masonry walls laid around, while high-class buildings were established on high stylobates with shumi style. Located in the palaces with abundant timber resources. Post-lintel structure, Taisu Hall of Xiannong Temple.Beijing, where we are now. Here's timber frame post-lintel construction. Drawing a timber frame column and tie construction. Yi dwelling column and tie construction. Chart of 8 classes. Case in the Song. Earlier Song government issued Yingzhou Faxi building standards. S standards architectural design and constructions, in which Kai was taken as the standard of architectural scale. It means the sizes of the materials used in the timber frame buildings were divided into 8 sets, which shall be chosen based on the size of buildings. Once Kai is decided, all component sizes of the timber frame have been also decided as specified in a according set. Railing, type dwelling, Dong nationality, Guizhou province. Timber frame, stilt construction. Timber frame, log cabin construction. Buildings, log cabin, Lanping area of Yunnan province. Buildings, a log cabin construction, Lijiang, Xiannong, Yunnan province.